Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chokes and Eye Pokes. Before we go any further, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel down below. Please like the video, drop us a comment, let us know what you like, what you don't like. And hope you guys enjoy the show. As always, I'm your host, Vern. I'm joined today by my co-host again, as always, Jack. How's it going, Jack?
It's going good. Excited. It's like quite a cool fight card to preview. Preview
and review.
Yeah,
it was an interesting, shocking actually for some of the fights of the UFC Fight Night, Cannonier versus Vettori. What did you think of the card as a whole?
Like a lot of surprises. I didn't see the Saryukian. No, not the Saryukian. The other Armin. Petrosian. I didn't see that fight playing out the way it did. I was super impressed. Same with Cannonier. I had him to win, but I didn't expect that performance. Yeah. And you, what did you think?
Yeah, I think it was a good card. I think there were some nice finishes, particularly in the first two fights. The middle of the card, I'll be honest with you, I did kind of lose focus in those cards. In those fights, excuse me. And then, super shocked with the Vettori Cannonier result. Another one of those where it was kind of like, I was like watching it, but then at the same time, I was just waiting for Cannonier to finish.
Yeah.
You know? So,
but whoa, Vettori's got a chin. I did not. How can someone take that much? Punishment, really.
I wasn't the biggest. Vettori had some funny moments against Paulo Costa, so I wasn't the biggest fan of Vettori's, but all heart, guts. All respect to Vettori after that. Not just his chin, but to also have the mental fortitude to actually just see that out in that hairy situation in round two was just
absolutely
something else.
Yeah.
Should we get into the fights?
Yeah, let's do it.
So the first result, I've got Nicholas Dalby beat Muslim Salikhov. We didn't preview this fight because it wasn't made. It was a last minute addition.
Yeah.
So unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. I missed that fight. I don't know if you managed to catch it.
I did. He deserved to win. It was convincing. It was like Muslim was just a bit slower. I don't know how much, what's the word? They didn't have that much.
Yeah, how much time ahead of...
notice.
Notice.
I don't know how much they had, but he was definitely less prepared.
Yeah, I also don't know. I don't know where that fight came from because... again, we were looking at just the main card in this preview. I glimpsed at the prelim card, but I didn't focus too much on it, to be honest with you. So, okay. So, deserved victory, hey? Do you think it should have been a 30-27 across the board, or?
I think so. Yeah, he was outworked. Definitely.
Okay. And then we had Manuel Torres against Nicolas Mota. Now, you got this one right.
Yeah.
All logic was telling me Torres.
Yeah.
But I thought
Mota had a chance.
Mota had a chance, yeah. So I think the things that Torres did well, Mota was good enough at avoiding, I thought.
Yeah.
Turns out not. But also the things that Torres did badly, I thought Mota was good enough to get the job done. But KO via
elbow.
Like clean elbow.
Yeah.
2 minutes, basically 2 minutes in, 1:50.
Yeah.
It's about as decisive a result as there is. Not very much analysis before that,
Do you think he's ready for like a top 15 guy? Because he's still really young.
Yeah, I think so. I think now's the time. The way that he dispatched him just wasn't even 2 minutes. You've got to keep. It's about momentum. If you've just come off of a 1:50.
Yeah,
elbow where you waited for him to drop his guard or saw that he dropped his guard and waited for the perfect time and just
so accurate as
crazy.
Yeah.
So I think so for sure. Put him up against Paddy Pimblett. Put him up against Paddy Pimblett. That would be
dismantle him.
Just dismantle him. But no, they'll probably wait for that to happen at a later stage. But yeah, top 15, I think for sure.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. How old is he? He looks very young.
I forget if he was 20. No, I don't want to get corrected, but sort of middle 20s. Very young, or possibly 24. But I stand corrected.
Yeah, he looks like he's like 24, 25.
Yeah. So maybe that's next. So this one surprise. Oh no, we got one before that. We got Pat Sabatini beat Lucas Almeida. So I got this one right at least.
Yeah.
Submission, arm triangle choke. Nice arm triangle choke.
Yeah, absolutely.
And dominant up until that point.
Yeah, no, it's like very convincing. I think I had it. That was the hardest one to choose for me last week. But yeah, I definitely Almeida. Oof, he was not the better fighter that night.
Yeah. Something about Sabatini's style, I know, because Sabatini had a worse record than Almeida.
Yeah.
It was just the style, dude. Styles make fights. I think something about Sabatini's style, man, and he just was that style of his versus Almeida's style was just too dominant.
Yeah.
There's very little that Almeida really, could or did do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good victory by Sabatini. So what are we, 1-1? We're still 1-1 because we both got this one wrong. Huge. I think I actually even went as far as saying this is the one of the two results I'm
super sure
certain of. But man, Armen Petrosyan pulled off the upset. I'm pretty sure it was also on the betting odds. I think it was also an upset over Christian Leroy Duncan. What do you think of this one?
I was like, I don't know. I remember last week we were saying that the only way for Armen to win is via knockout, and he's not. I was thinking he's not technically clean at all. And I was like, Duncan will dismantle him in every way possible, just in terms of his technique. But wow, like Armen outclassed him. Like I think through and through, and also the power that guy shows. I mean, give him a top 10 opponent next. I reckon.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, look, Armen surprised me big time. Christian Duncan, I don't know. I think he was overawed by the situation, it looked like, because he just never got started.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I know he was 8-0 before this fight, and
but Armen didn't give him time to breathe as well.
That's the thing. And there was no point in this fight where you thought Armen was in any trouble of losing that fight.
Yeah.
And it was weird because in that last round, he was Christian Duncan was clearly behind. They didn't seem to have any urgency to try to get up. Like, I mean, I think there was a minute and a half left.
Yeah.
And Armen was basically trying to get on his back, and he was just kind of like okay with it. It was a little bit weird.
Or like he couldn't have thought that he was going to win, or like he could have won on points.
No, not on points, but I mean, you've got to at least try to. Yeah. Okay. So you mean that at that point that he was ahead on points?
Yeah. No, exactly. He couldn't have thought he was trying to. Well, maybe he just like didn't want to win. He just wanted to survive the round. Like,
yeah, maybe he was injured before or something like that. But it just looked oddly. He was oddly docile.
Yeah.
In that. So bit of a shock result. 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. You could make a case 29-28 maybe.
Yeah.
But for me, 30-27, pretty much all around.
Yeah, same.
Then we had Armen Tsarukyan versus Joaquim Silva. This Armen Tsarukyan, I think we both had Armen for this one. And TKO punches in the third round. This one was much closer than I thought it was going to be as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And then Tsarukyan also said afterwards that he said he wants to see Islam next.
Yeah, that was his first option. And then he said if Islam doesn't want to do it, then he wants to fight Michael Chandler, because Michael Chandler and Conor doesn't look like it's happening.
Yeah, I would like to see Beneil versus him, honestly. I think that would be a cool fight to make, even if it is in December. Yeah,
Beneil would be good because it's a good test, because I'd like to see Chandler Conor. That would be a fun fight.
Yeah.
Or Chandler versus someone like very explosive, like, Justin Gaethje again, maybe. Although they just fought, and Poirier. So someone like that, but it would be nice to see him.
Like a big name.
Kept for that, yeah. I think it would be a fun fight with him and Beneil. I mean, Beneil did say, reacted to his loss. I saw something today where he said that he will be champion. It's just going to take a different route now.
Yeah.
So if he comes back motivated and he can do, what he did before, and just maybe work on the things that, I mean,
Armen is a tough fight.
He's a tough fight, yeah.
Tough fight, yeah. I mean, but yeah, good fight. I also didn't see it going that close.
Yeah, surprisingly close, and actually took way more damage than I thought he would.
That clip was a left hook to the head. I thought he was out.
Yeah.
But also chin.
Nice hematoma that he had there.
It was crazy.
Little one forming there. So, yeah, okay. And then, man, this one probably one of the, I mean, besides the Christian Duncan one, this one was, for me, I didn't see it going this way. I don't know if you'll call it an upset, because I'm pretty sure they were quite even on the betting odds, but you got this one right. So you win the week 3-2.
I don't know if I can take it though, because I said that like his only way to a victory was to like clock him.
No, you still picked him. I mean, whether you switch or not, it's the same as when I picked Albazi a couple of weeks back, just to be different. Hey, man, winning's winning, bro. It doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter how you win. So, hey, you got it. But yeah, I mean, sure, easier said than done knocking Vettori out. Now we know.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's never been finished. And
never been finished.
I don't think he will after that, unless like it is that meter that we spoke about the first week.
His meters are running out, maybe. Yeah, it's I don't know where Vettori goes to from here. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but there's something I want to say at the end. But yeah, Cannonier. So Cannonier got dropped in the first round by Vettori, and that's so on the judges' scorecards it's 49-45, 49-45, 48-46. So that. Yeah, Vettori had at least the first round, I think, across the board.
Yeah.
10-9 makes sense. And there were for sure a couple of 10-8 rounds. I mean, that second round was like that close that he was about to get finished. And it was weird because Vettori, he looked sharp, he looked fresh, but then somewhere there's a point or a lot of like matches, especially in grappling or stand-up, where you see someone almost give up. And you could almost see Vettori not give up, but you could almost see him be like, it's almost accepted.
Yeah.
And then he jumped out of it when it was close to him getting finished. So I don't know if he was tired, if he was injured, if he had anything before his camp, because he still lasted the full 5 rounds and his cardio seemed fine, but he
couldn't start.
Took his wind out of his sails.
I think that was I think Jared made a really good adjustment after the first round. I think that he like realized that he needs to like get in Vettori's face. That's why he was like so active, because I think with that you can't, like, Marvin didn't know what to do. I think he needed to find his range in order to like pick Jared apart. But yeah, it was really impressive. I do think Marvin, I don't know, it's not the first time you see like small kind of like adjustments to his game plan. He can't like counter adjust. Yeah. Also fighting a southpaw, maybe, I mean, surely he would have trained for that, but training and fighting are two different things. Yeah.
Jared Cannonier looked, I mean, he said it was his best fight camp ever, and he looked.
Yeah,
he looked it.
Yeah.
Also, he had the most significant strikes. I mean, I think it was like 85 in the second round alone to the head. Significant strikes. I mean, Vettori's one tough bastard.
Yeah, how did he not go to the mat? Like,
that guy's insane. Head must have been, like, oh man, how did you not? But it just also goes to show you. So, like, when Cannonier fought Adesanya, Adesanya just nullified that, neutralized that so easy. It just goes to show you how good Adesanya is.
Yeah.
When they had their fight. What next now for each of them? What do you think?
I would really like to see Cannonier versus the loser of Dricus and Rob. I think that would be a really cool one just for title contention. And Marvin, I don't know. I don't know what he does next. What do you think?
Short Strickland. Maybe just a little filler fight, you know. It's difficult for Marvin, I don't see a way back, because this is, in the promo he was talking about 2 more things he wants to do before he retires.
Yeah.
Thinking like, okay, retire.
Yeah.
And then at the same time talking about how young he is and he's got time to win the title and everything. So obviously he's talking about a couple of fights to the title, but he wants to win the title, retire as champion, and bring the UFC to Italy. UFC to Italy can be done, still be done at any time, but long road to becoming champion. I mean, it was a long road even if he won this fight, because he'd faced Izzy twice already and lost twice and not even come close to. It
wasn't that
close
competitive
to win. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Izzy was coasting.
And even with Rob, like, he's lost twice now. Those were close fights, and the road to get back to the title has been so long.
Oh, Rob's got a better chance as well. So well, listen again. If Rob beats Dricus, that's
yes.
I think Cannonier probably. I think it's a done deal if Dricus doesn't win the fight that Cannonier goes up against Dricus. Rob, I'm not so certain with Rob, but there's no other fight that makes sense for Cannonier, because unless he wants
to fight for the title.
Well, yeah, and then Izzy's going to fight the winner of Robert Whittaker and Dricus.
Yeah.
And then Cannonier will probably fight the winner of that. But who knows? Maybe after that, there's so many possibilities.
Yeah.
My hope is Dricus wins. Dricus beats Whittaker and Dricus beats Izzy.
Yeah, same.
Then maybe they have 2 fights or whatever, and then all of those contenders can fight Dricus again.
Yeah.
A new champion.
It is really good, like insurance policy for that road, because I do think, to be realistic, like it's a hard fight for Dricus. Like Rob is like the hardest fight in the middleweights. If he does lose now, then another very quick way to get back to the title is through Cannonier.
Yeah, no, 100% agreed. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter who. If he loses to Whittaker, it doesn't really matter to me who he fights next, as long as he has an impressive performance.
Yeah,
because the big thing is probably Izzy's going to beat Robert
if they fight again.
If they fight, so I'm going the scenario where Dricus loses, right? So okay. Izzy and Robert fight each other.
Yeah,
Izzy wins. Dricus fights whoever is next, has an impressive performance. They set up a title fight because Izzy has said he wants to fight him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's gonna. It's
happen. Inevitable. Yeah. I think no matter what happens, no matter what happens in the Izzy Whittaker fight. Again, I'm going on the scenario if Dricus loses to Whittaker. I think an impressive performance for Dricus either way gets him the next title shot in any event.
Yeah.
Because there's no one really. I mean, they're not gonna, unless they put Cannonier ahead of him or Hamzat somehow joins the picture.
Yeah.
I highly doubt that, I think because Dricus is already in a number one. I mean, the only way that he doesn't get a title shot after that is if obviously he loses to the next fight. And he won't get that fight if he loses in a bad way to Robert. But I mean, I don't see that happening. No, I also don't see that happening.
Yeah.
And when I say a bad way, I'm talking
like knockout first round. I'm
talking Manuel Torres versus Nicolas Mata.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so overall, I mean, maybe we rate this card out of 10. I didn't really give much thought about what I would rate it out of 10, but
I like 10 out of 10 for surprise. No, 9 out of 10 for surprises. Entertainment, I like a solid 7.5. Yeah. Overall, I'm gonna go 8. It was a fun card. It was a fun card.
I'm gonna lean closer to the 6.5.
Brutal.
No, but I can't go too high just yet because, I mean, if we're saying like UFC 291, if all the fights go the way they're supposed to go, that's a 10 out of 10 card. Like that's the bar.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna say probably 6 just to be neutral. 6.5. 6.5.
Okay.
I think 7 is pretty high, like to rate something a 7. So
okay.
So yeah, the next thing was Dana White's big announcement was Umar Nurmagomedov versus Corey Sandhagen.
The Sandman. Yeah, I thought that the big announcement was for like a PFL crossover.
Oh, and yes.
I mean, I wasn't disappointed, but like, I mean, it is a cool fight. But yeah, I wasn't like that. Like, oh, this is gonna happen. But who do you have?
I don't know, dude. It's one of those where it's like, so Umar, not because he's Nurmagomedov, but like when Habib was coming up, you could bet against him, and obviously he was undefeated just like Umar is, but and you could look at names where you could be like, that could be the guy to beat him, and that never happened. And I feel with Umar, it's a similar thing where you shouldn't bet against him because he's been so convincing so far, but I can't bet against Corey. I mean, Corey's losses have all been against the best of the best.
And that last one was a split decision.
Close.
I think he should have won that last one as well.
So I got Corey, to be honest with you. We know what Umar's going to do. We're going to take it to the ground. Going to make it ugly.
Yeah.
But I'll go for Corey on that one. He's just so good. He's got so many ways to win. But the one thing I will say is I really hope Corey doesn't lose this, because if he does lose this, he might have sort of a Carlos Condit situation.
Yeah.
Where amazing fighter, skillful fighter, close losses, like never dominated, but just too many losses, not getting enough momentum. And just kind of falling off the face of the ranking. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Like Dan Hooker as well. I always go back to the Dustin Poirier fight.
Yeah. Look, Dan Hooker in a way. I mean, he's always game to fight. And I feel like Sandhagen and Condit are just a different class for me in any event. But I get what you mean with Dan Hooker. Close losses, only losing to the top guys most times. But yeah, I really hope that Corey wins this one because, Umar can come back. I mean, just like Islam did. Islam had a loss, came back. He's got a lot of time. Corey wants to be champion. He said that's the reason he took this fight. He's like, if I don't fight everybody, or if I can't beat everybody, then how can I call myself champion in the future?
Yeah.
Plus, it's a lot of hype behind this guy. So why not take the fight?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he wins this fight, because no one apparently wanted to fight Umar.
Yeah.
Dana White himself said it. So I'm hoping he wins. Hope he doesn't lose and sort of fall down the rankings.
Yeah.
But I think he should. He's got enough to win. But it could go either way.
Yeah.
You?
Same. I really want Corey to win. I don't know how realistic that is, if I'm honest. Just in terms of, I think there's so much hype behind just the name Nurmagomedov. I don't know how Corey fares against someone that's just going to try to take you to the ground all the time. Just because of his name and the weight behind it and the team that he trains with, I think that, I don't know. Like, I think he's going to, if he doesn't get him down in the first couple of rounds, like that's the game plan. And I don't know how Corey fares against that. But at the same time, it's a really cool matchup. I hope that it stays on the feet as long as possible. It's almost kind of like Khabib versus the potential what's his name? We've
Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson. Yeah, it's almost like a similar matchup where like you get a really really skilled all round guy, but one like hectic sambo grappler. So
relentless grappler.
Yeah. So I'm smart money. I'm gonna say
Umar.
Umar, but. Like I hope that it's Corey because he's just like I think I respect that man a lot just for taking the fight as well.
Hope Corey wins, but yeah, just to have that relentless pressure of somebody like no matter how many times you stuff the takedown, just coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. So
was that thing that Khabib said as well? Like if you stuff 99, like wait for the one that I do get you.
Yeah, they're very good at top pressure. That's the thing. Is like it's one thing getting someone down, but it's another thing holding them down.
Yeah.
So I mean, dude, you'd have to prep 15-30 minutes of just up against the cage, someone trying to take you down, preferably heavier than you.
Yeah.
As soon as you get taken down, up. It's not fun, dude.
Yeah.
It's not fun. I've once, in all my years of MMA, I've once helped someone prep for a fight where it was after jiu-jitsu class. They needed people to just really, and I mean, it's probably because I was bigger than the guy as well, so it was to get a little bit of weight behind it.
Yeah.
Prep and helping him, one, stuff takedowns, and then two, if you do get him down, you try submit and do all your stuff and pin him down, but he has to get up.
Yeah.
And it was very tiring, like super, super tiring. So if you've got somebody at the level of Umar doing that for 15 straight minutes, that's not a fun night. So, okay, but we're both saying, what are we saying? Early predictions.
I'm official pick Umar.
Smart pick. I want to say Corey, but I'm gonna say Umar. Okay. Yeah, provisional pick. We'll probably preview that one as well.
Yeah.
Then that news that you thought it was going to be was Johnny Bones Jones rocking up at PFL. I don't know what's up with all this cross promotional. First it was Connor at Bare Knuckle.
Yeah.
And now it's Jon Jones rocking up to PFL.
Yeah, and then he had that altercation. Well, I don't know.
It wasn't an altercation.
It was actually quite civil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a meeting.
Yeah.
They met each other.
Yeah, with
they
Francis.
touched each other. Weirdly, it was so weird. It was like trying to feel his shoulders up and pat his belly, and it was quite cordial. I mean, they're not going to throw down for free, so they must have set something up ahead of time. I mean, I don't know what Dana thinks about all this kind of stuff, because you're giving eyes onto a rival promotion.
Yeah,
a lot of people are calling for them to have like a cross promotional thing.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that would be good? To actually have that cross promotional thing. I think it would be really good for the PFL, but not necessarily good for the UFC.
I think it'd be great for the fans.
Yeah,
it depends, right? Okay, Francis Ngannou, we know Francis Ngannou. We know what he can do. We know what Jon Jones obviously can do.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other people in the PFL that we know what they can do. But I think if the PFL can build the people's names up first.
Mm.
So basically, like right now, the UFC is up at the top. Everyone else is down here trying to chase them, okay, at varying levels. If you can get to a point where the others are not have to be exactly where the UFC is, but just close enough.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm the heavyweight champion. Let's say I'm Jon Jones. Let's not do heavyweights. Heavyweight's a bad example. Let's do like the light heavyweights. Let's say I'm light heavyweight champion of the UFC in 4 years' time, and you're light heavyweight champion of PFL. If they've done a good enough job of building you up, people are going to want to see that fight. But if it's a thing of like, oh, we got Jon Jones versus Joe Schmo, who's the heavyweight champ of PFL, like maybe the hardcore PFL fans know who Joe Schmo is.
Yeah.
But other people outside won't know who he is. So that's what they would have to do. But also, like you say, the UFC is going to have to give up more than they're probably going to gain from this.
Mm.
So
with Gane, like all his credibility has been made at the UFC.
That's the thing as well.
Yeah, he hasn't like won any. Doesn't have any prospective fights in PFL other than the UFC fight, which is also like a little bit. Yeah.
The UFC were the ones that built him. So let's see what happens. I mean, I couldn't name you a lot of. I mean, I know a couple of the fighters in PFL, like the ones at the tournaments I've watched. Then obviously there's guys like Don Madge that himself is undefeated in the UFC and then went to PFL.
Yeah. So like Wilder, but apparently he's going to fight Joshua in December. So I don't like that.
Are you talking Deontay Wilder?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about a boxing? The boxing stuff I saw pop up again because both fronts, So let's wait on the boxing on that as well because Just the last thing is, like the people have, I think cross promotional will be very, very cool, but I think there might be too many disagreements on what people should get paid. Definitely there'll be disagreements on that.
Yeah.
How
much should boxing versus MMA? Just because like usually boxing is just so ludicrously high.
No, but I mean like PFL and UFC. So like the UFC probably also on what the pay-per-views will cost.
Yeah.
Sponsors in the cage versus no sponsors in the cage. There's just too many differences at the moment.
Yeah.
And there are direct competition. And I think the UFC's model has been to either get people to feed from an organization into them or to just buy the organization.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll ever get to see that.
The finances would be, because also the business model of UFC, I mean, they don't have as much fighter pay, but it seems like a lot more goes into the actual organization and administration of the fights. So, I mean, also like marketing. So I don't know how you kind of marry those two things together, like just budget wise,
Yeah, and also, I mean, the PFL's last event just tanked pay-per-view wise, like completely tanked. But again, you need to build up stars, and once those stars are there, they might get it. They might get it across the line. Maybe they have a good relationship, but probably not. But Jon Jones did say if he beats Stipe, the only fight ever that would make sense for him after that in MMA is Francis Ngannou.
Really?
There's no other. I mean, for legacy and things like that. Like, there's no one else. There's no point fighting anybody else.
Not even Sergey. I mean, I suppose that's also a name thing. Like, he's a tough fight, but he's not like.
I mean, look, if he goes on a tear, then maybe. But Jon Jones is probably considering retirement soon. So in terms of legacy, you won't get much better than
Jon Jones.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, maybe he goes into boxing, like we said. So I saw again now France. So first of Francis Ngannou said they had another thing with Tyson Fury, and I saw there was talk about Wilder. I'd like to see Wilder and Joshua fight in boxing. Just stick to boxing for now.
Yeah.
But Wilder said was it Ngannou or Jones? I can't remember. He said he'll fight him. It was Ngannou first. Boxing first,
and then MMA. The MMA. 2-fight deal. Yeah.
Smart to do it that way because if you murk him in boxing, it's kind of like you can always have the fallback of like, well, I murked you, you know, like you're not on my level, so let's leave it. I think it's kind of like an out doing it that way. But yeah, listen, we had Matt Leshing here for a podcast, actually the next podcast that we're going to release. So keep an eye out for that. He was talking about crossovers, and the first thing he said is like, obviously people who do MMA will know how to box, right? But if you want to box, you don't go for money-wise and it's probably spectacle-wise and everything, you go for the top people. But Tyson Fury And Deontay Wilder. I mean, Deontay Wilder's knockout ratio is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a power puncher. So you will probably have a 1% chance of winning. Even Jon Jones in boxing. So if it's a one-off for a payday, go for it. You know, and that's probably what it is. People don't really have, I don't think they have much of a serious side to think. Maybe in their mind they think they could become boxers, but it's probably going to be a one-off.
Yeah.
But that's like going.
It's an exhibition, bro.
Yeah, is it really though?
Yeah.
It's like being a jiu-jitsu player.
Yeah.
Let's say you can be how good at jiu-jitsu and being like, you know what? I want to do MMA. I want my first match to be against Jon Jones.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You'd look at the dude like he's mad. So, or a girl go against Mandy Nunes.
Yeah. No, I do agree. I do agree.
I still want to watch it though. I still want to watch it just for the intrigue, you know, because Jon Jones is so good.
Yeah.
At everything.
For Wilder versus Jon Jones, or
I actually asked Nat about that. I said, you know, what about Wilder, because of similar sizes and reach and stuff, and he said, no, dude, Wilder's that knockout ratio is not to be played with. It's one of the best in history, and it's the knockouts are like scary. But I still watch it. I'd like both. Just do both.
Yeah,
do both. Fury will just be Fury dances around like he weighs 60 kilograms.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
I do like that. What's crazy is those fights do intrigue me more. Also, because these two organizations have built up names, and now they're two names, like very legitimate names that can kind of cross promotionally fight each other, as opposed to just like Jake Paul versus.
Yeah, don't get me started on that again. You know. Yeah, you're right. I think it will be interesting to see what happens, because Francis Ngannou at least has that option. That's always been the option that he has.
Yeah.
Will the PFL give that to him first? They'll make a stack of money, but I think it would be short-sighted to do that first, because if he loses, and he loses badly, there goes all of his momentum, I feel, even in the MMA world.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you disagree, but I feel like that would
I do
be
agree.
momentum killer.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to wait too long, because he is getting older.
Yeah. How old is he? Like 37?
I think he's turning 37 or 36. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Let's see.
I hope he gets a couple paydays, like before he retires. Yeah.
He should. I like PFL, man. I like that there's all these new organizations now. Like, I'm a big fan of, obviously, of the UFC. That's like my favorite organization, has been. I mean, since I started watching UFC back in like 2005, you know, that's been the one I like the most. And for a time, I liked Bellator. Actually, I love Pride as well, but Pride, closed down, got bought out by UFC. Bellator was good for a while, but then they also did the mistake of buying people that were kind of UFC rejects on the bad side. PFL had some, what people call rejects of the UFC, but they were like cut off to like 1 or 2 losses. You know, it was a little bit harsh.
Yeah.
They've come back, fought really well. There's there's Brave, there's UAE Warriors. I like that there's all this competition.
Yeah.
I think.
And bare knuckle boxing, that's also like getting a lot of traction.
All this bare knuckle MMA as well now.
Yeah.
With Jorge Masvidal.
Oh yeah, he started the promotion.
He's got to promote that. That's so hardcore. Like that.
Yeah.
Game Bread. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. But with the different organizations, I think it's good, because if they can all build themselves up, there's more for us to watch. There's a bigger filter of people coming through. I mean, if you look at all the South Africans and people that and Africans that are coming through in UAE Warriors, Brave, all of these organizations, Aries, it's so much better just all round for MMA, and there's going to be so much more competition. So maybe in the future, be like football leagues, where you've got like Premier League, Spanish League, that league. You know, maybe at the end they can all fight each other in like a MMA Champions League.
Yeah,
that'd be very cool.
That would be very cool. That's probably hopefully that's the route that it goes. Yeah,
I hope it works out. What I'm trying to say is, I hope it works out for Francis Ngannou. I hope it works out for PFL and the other organizations. Listen, those like Brave and UAE Warriors have got a lot of money behind them.
Yeah,
from what I hear. So
yeah, I mean, like, there's so many cool fights to make. Like, let's just hope that there's like not as many barriers to entry to get like Francis Ngannou a fight.
Yeah. Good luck to all of them.
Yeah.
And then we also had another announcement that we got Max Holloway and Korean Zombie.
Yeah. Who do you think is gonna? Well, what are your thoughts on that fight?
Interesting for Max Holloway to take that fight. I mean, I guess, I mean, he's fought Volkanovski 3 times, so he has to be active.
Yeah.
You know, he's not. I mean, Topuria is probably and we'll get to that a little bit later. But Topuria is probably next in line for a title shot if he wins that fight. You know, is Holloway going to go for Emmett and Topuria's winner? Probably not. I mean, well, obviously not because he's gone for this now.
But what if Yo wins convincingly?
Well, that's why I'm saying so. He has to fight. You know, because he's not going to wait for. Yeah, they're not going to wait for a fight. I mean, it's Max Holloway.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Yair wins against Volkanovski or Volkanovski goes up, I think there's something about. I think Volkanovski's going to go up. I think he's going to go up.
Permanent.
But I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think he's going to. Well, unless he waits for Topuria. But I think Holloway's got to fight. He's got to stay active. He's one of those guys that has to stay active. I think Topuria. See, I'm really going to get him myself. Holloway, I think should easily win that fight.
Yeah, I think so as well. I thought the Korean Zombie would have retired after the he was talking about retirement after his fight with Volk. I thought that would have been. I thought that was like a nice way to end it because I don't think it was that bad a fight for him. But yeah, I do think Max wins pretty not necessarily easily, but very convincingly.
I also think so. I don't think he needs to put. I don't think he would. It would be a fight that he's in much danger.
Yeah, because what can Korean Zombie do? That
wrestle him to the ground and put pressure on him, I guess. But Max is great at getting that. You know, I'd like to still see Max Holloway and Ige. You know, if they're not going to give Max Holloway a title fight, so let's say Volkanovski wins and stays.
Yeah.
That eliminates.
Yeah, that's a
Max.
good one to make. Yeah,
I would have liked to see Max Holloway go up to light heavyweight.
That would be. Whoa.
What lightweight? A couple. I mean, he did.
He did. Yeah. But he was champion. Or
no, he fought Dustin Poirier and then he lost. Yeah, he was going to fight Habib. That was going to be the champ. That was the one where he was sitting at the news conference like weird and dazed, and then they've had Iaquinta fight him. Iaquinta was like 11th ranked, and then that was for the interim. I think it was interim or was for the title proper.
I think vacant. Yeah,
it was vacant because they didn't know what they were doing with Conor.
Yeah, that was a weird. I remember like that. That didn't make too much sense. That was for the actual title. It would
have been nice if Max didn't have those issues. It would have been nice to see. You know, in hindsight, I mean, he lost to Dustin Poirier, but that Dustin Poirier is not a joke. But
yeah,
I think the momentum Max had behind him would have. He could have done something.
Double tramp.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, that being said, his only losses to Dustin Poirier and Volk in the last couple of years, so he should have no issues with this fight.
And he's still quite young. He's like 36.
Sure. You always ask me these ages, and I'm always like, I'm not 100% sure, you know. But yeah, that's all young enough. Look, he's taken a lot of damage. That's for sure. I don't know what his damage age is, or you know, but still young, still got a lot of good fights in him.
Yeah.
So I think it's, you know, if there's no chance of him fighting Volkanovski again, because if Volkanovski stays champ, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Then give him these fun fights. Why not? Give him the ego fight.
Yeah.
Hawaii versus Hawaii. That would be the best.
Yeah.
I think that should be next if, you know, depending on what happens with the title. But I think even if Yair Rodriguez beats Volkanovski, they're gonna run it back.
Yeah, probably
unless it's like
super
savage knockout.
Yeah,
which probably won't happen. But so I think just give him the ego fight maybe next, or Topuria or whatever. I mean, there's so many fun fights for him to have.
Yeah, Topuria would be interesting.
It's if he gets past Emmett.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So the other news was Ciryl Gane versus Sergey Spivak.
Spivak, yeah. Oof. I mean, like after a loss against Jon Jones, a wrestler, and like getting so much slack for his wrestling being so poor to go against, I would say the best. Well, the person known for heavyweight currently for being a wrestler. Yeah,
that's his key to victory. I mean, that's wrestle Ciryl Gane to the ground, make it ugly, get the win. But I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think's winning that one?
So do we know when the fight is going to be?
Yeah, they said. Let's just double check here quickly because it's UFC Paris. 2nd of September.
September. It would be cool because after his loss against Jon Jones, Khabib was like, "Hey, come train with me." I think that if he took him up, like he would have a better chance. But as is, I think that the blueprint to beating him is a bit too clear. If he keeps him on the feet, like I think that Ciryl has a really good chance. But yeah, I don't know. Sergey has a bit of an edge there. What do you think?
Same. Yeah, I think exactly the same. The thing with Ciryl Gane is you don't know where his head's at, when he's...
Yeah.
He had a really good run. And then obviously Francis Ngannou, baddest dude on the planet at the time, beat him. But it was and that's Francis Ngannou, so it's no small feat fighting him. But anytime he's been really tested, really sort of dragging into deep waters, he's kind of sunk. For lack of a better term, Gane has. So I think this is going to be another one of those dragging into deep waters, make it ugly, wrestling, constantly trying to pin him against the cage, pushing out his air in his, in his midsection.
Yeah.
So let's see. I mean, can he make the adjustments? I don't know.
I hope so. I mean, because I think Francis Ngannou beat him purely as a function of his wrestling was not up to scratch. I think that Francis needed to resort to wrestling because he was losing on the feet. Yeah. So I think that if he can get good at stuffing the takedown, or I don't know how he stuffs that takedown from Sergey, but.
And Jon Jones was kind of just like a blitz. It was like overwhelming, So you never know when it's over that quickly, Obviously, Jon Jones did it by skill, and I'm not saying it was anything but that.
Yeah.
But when it's over so quickly and such a blitz, you don't really get to show your skills. So that's the key to victory, man, for Sergey, is to take it down, make it ugly, and really, really try to drown him, know. Yeah. So you're saying early prediction, Sergey?
Sergey.
So tough to predict this, man. It's like one of those Corey Sandhagen ones, Logic will tell you Corey should win. Logic will tell me Ciryl will win, but I'm going to go Sergey as well for now,
Like wrestler versus striker. It's just like we've seen a couple times.
We've seen the story play out multiple times, but we've also seen the story play out where the guy gets to stuff the takedown and just doesn't have to stuff takedowns, doesn't need to be a top level wrestler, just need to learn how to stuff takedowns. And then it could be a long night for Sergey.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So we're going to go into our weekly preview of the next UFC, or UFC event. It's UFC on ABC, ESPN Plus. Again, we're only going to turn this way. We're only going to look at the main card. So we've got 5 fights that we will be previewing. And then again, we'll have a look and see what the score is. We've been kind of flip-flopping week after week on who's winning. I'm thinking of getting one of my title belts at home and then just having on the table for the weekly winner, Maybe we should get something like that.
We should, yeah.
So the first one is Brendan Allen versus Bruno Silva. Who you got for that one?
I got Allen for that one.
You got Allen?
Yeah, he's got on a 4-fight win streak. I think it's been impressive wins. Yeah, I got Allen. Who do you have?
Allen. Yeah, I also think he's been far more tested in the UFC. Also, like you say, he's got the win streak. Just more dynamic, more skillful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know what method, to be honest with you. There's a multitude of ways that he could win it, but probably either, I don't know, I'm going to say decision or, quite a comfortable decision. Maybe TKO. Don't know. Could be either of the two. Yeah. I
wonder why he's taking the fight as well. I saw he's number 14 ranked. And it's Silva. That's he's fighting. Silva.
Bruno Silva.
Yeah, he's I think it's his debut.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. I just don't why is he taking the fight? Is just to move up the ranks little bit by little bit?
I don't know. I don't know why these guys take fights that maybe don't make sense, because maybe they called for a different fight, didn't get it, and the UFC's like, well, this is what we're giving you.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, well, I'm not at a place to bargain, so I'll just take what they give me.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to, a lot of people, they ask, who do you want to fight next? And they're just like, whoever the UFC gives me. I think a lot of fighters go through that first stage. It's just kind of like,
just stay active.
I mean, Cameron Simon also, when he was on the podcast, said, I just want to fight. Doesn't matter who it is, I just want to fight. So whoever the UFC gives me, I just want to fight. And the same with Dricus at the time. So, especially if you're sort of climbing the ranks, I don't think, maybe it's not wise to like start making demands, because maybe the UFC doesn't like that.
Yeah, bad taste in the mouth.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe to them maybe they're still on a certain number of fights on this contract. But then you'd paid the same in any event.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe maybe that's just that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Plus, also, we've seen now in recent times and recent cards, people that come from outside organizations, when they get to the UFC, it's that they're a little bit in awe and starstruck, kind of. So, could play to his advantage. Let's see. So we're both going Allen on that one, eh?
Yeah.
You ventured to say how you think that one's gonna go.
I think submission. Like second round.
Possibly, yeah, that could happen. Yeah, I'm saying decision or did I say TKO earlier or submission?
I don't think I heard. Did you say?
Yeah, I think I said TKO, but
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
TKO or decision.
Okay.
David Onama versus Gabriel Santos. What are we saying for that one?
Oh, I said Onama.
Said Onama.
Yeah, I had to check my notes for a second. I just wanted to see. So his last fight was against Landwehr, and that's where he lost. I think that Landwehr, just because he had so much momentum at the time, like I think anyone in that weight class would have had like trouble, like winning. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I went Santos, so I'm happy that we're disagreeing.
Yeah.
Because Santos came off a split decision. They're both coming off a loss.
Yeah.
I think Santos came off a split decision loss, which was very, very close. And I think he's just got more tools maybe to win. I've been backing the Brazilians a lot though, and they haven't been coming through. So I don't know if I...
Yeah, man, Nunes would also...
Besides Nunes, yeah, of course. I mean, I backed Oliveira. No. I take that back. So yeah, I think Santos, because it was a split decision loss, it was very, very close. Could have gone either way. I've gone with Santos. He should get it done.
Okay.
I think. How? I don't know. Submission.
I suppose like Onama, I mean, the person that beat you also just lost. So I suppose that's like maybe you have a point to prove, but also like that's a lot of mental game you get through.
I want Onama to win, for Africa because he's,
Buchanan.
Yeah, I want him to win. I think he has possibility to win. Again, we've just got to make a call every week and say, who we think's going to win. So yeah, I think Santos, in my opinion. Cody Brundage versus Dricus Du Plessis. What you got there?
This is actually where our prep went off the rails because I was checking the UFC or the website, and you were looking at the preview. So I actually looked at Austin Lane versus Justin Taffer.
But that is on the main card on the UFC website, right?
Yes, yeah, on the UFC website, but not on the...
Come on, UFC, you got to get your shit together.
PFL's coming.
PFL's coming for you guys, eh?
Yeah.
Get your shit together. UA Warriors, Braves coming for you guys. Come on.
I have one prelim fight to preview, but I don't know. I can't.
No, prelim. Okay, well, I'm not going to comment on the prelim fight because I didn't do the analysis. So you go ahead first, please, and tell me what you think of the prelim of that fight.
So Austin Lane versus Justin Taffer. Justin Taffer, I have him all the way. It looks like he's got a 2-fight win streak. At the moment, 2-fight first round KOs, like in a minute and a half. Like he's got power. It's actually it's crazy that is a prelim fight. It's like, but yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting one.
Yeah.
And it was the one that you...
I can't comment, so because I didn't look enough. But the little I've seen of Justin was that he's very similar. Not similar, but he's kind of like
a tie.
Almost, almost like Tai Tuivasa. So it's super entertaining to watch, and always that risk of the Mark Hunt, Tai Tuivasa, that risk of getting knocked out. So
no, I thought the same.
Just for the hell of it, I'm going to go with your selection in any event. I know we weren't supposed to do that, but I'm going to go with yours in any event. Okay, so Cody Brundage versus Dricus Du Plessis. I've got Cody. I think Du Plessis is not good enough on the ground from what I've seen. I think Cody will take him down, drown him, smother him, make it ugly. Du Plessis, he looked very stop-starty when I saw him the last fight he had. and it kind of looked like his feet were stuck under him.
Mm.
And then again, when it went to the ground, it wasn't, from what I saw, enough. So I'm gonna go Cody. I think he's got enough, even though he's lost his last two. Should have enough to get the win.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know these fighters to be completely honest, but is Cody a wrestler?
His wrestling is good enough. Yeah, I think he's got a wrestling base. And that's his key to victory, in my opinion. So yeah, and Dricus, I mean, look, again, he could win this fight. I mean, he's got one loss, but from what I've seen so far, just the way that they fight, their styles, I think Cody.
Okay, so let's see.
It's kind of like that Sabatini. It's just like it doesn't necessarily. There's no like logic behind it per se. It's just kind of like the way they fight. So, okay, possibly by stoppage, I think.
Okay.
So either like again dominant decision. That's like the key to victory, and maybe Dumas is tough enough to last the 3 rounds, but inevitably maybe gives his back up, gets choked, or gets TKO'd. So yeah.
I'll keep an eye out. That sounds like a cool fight to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And if it goes the opposite way again, then we'll be shocked and we'll be entertained either way in any event. So that's the beauty of fighting, of watching fights.
Yeah.
Amanda Ribas and Macy Barber.
I have Ribas purely as a function of I think she has more knockout power, and I think. I mean, they both have a habit of going to decision. I think Macy, all of her fights have gone to decision in the UFC, and her last one was a split decision. I guess I forgot what the name was. But yeah, I think Ribas, she has more knockout power. She has like a couple knockouts in the UFC. But also has gone to decision last 3 fights or something.
Yeah, she lost the last one. It was Chukagan, I think. Who was a little bit bigger than her, actually was doing really well in that fight. Like, it was a very close fight. She has great takedowns as well, Ribas. Really good in the grappling. Tough. I mean, that last loss was really, really close.
Yeah.
You know, it could have gone either way. If she just maybe applied her mind a little bit more and really went for the kill, she probably could have won that fight either by decision or by finish.
Yeah.
So I'm going Ribas as well. I think it's just too much that she does.
What do you say how do you say she wins?
Ground and pound.
Okay.
I think.
But Macy's also, she's got a chin. Like, no one's been able to finish her.
But no one was able to finish Vettori, and it was like
that's true.
Super close, you know. So first time for everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely a first time for everything. Yeah. So we're saying Ribas, both
Ribas,
of us.
yeah.
Okay. So what have we got? What have we got different?
I think just an armor. No, wait. Do we have?
No, we've got an armor difference so far. Okay. So we've got the main event. One I'm really looking forward to. Josh Emmett and Ilia Topuria. What are we saying for that one?
I have a feeling you're gonna say Topuria, and I'm gonna say Josh Emmett. I just to be different. I don't know. Okay. You justify your pick just so.
Please, you go first.
Okay.
You go first.
I think Josh Emmett's had some really impressive victories. He beat Ige. I mean, he beat Cater. That was a split decision. Yeah, that was a split decision. And that wasn't that clean. Absolutely not. And then he lost to Yair. But I still think that he's got like enough in the tank to like turn that around and make the adjustments. And I don't know, Topuria, he's had a really like convincing run, and he's like 8-0.
Yeah, he's 13-0.
Yeah. Like smart money is Topuria, but I think that Josh gets this done. Because it's a close fight.
It's a close fight. Yeah, I mean, Josh is a really good fighter, and unfortunately, I think there's just levels, and I think even just a 5% difference.
Yeah.
Which in this fight, I think there's bigger than a 5% difference. Maybe I just like Topuria too much. So you're right. I'm picking Topuria. You're right on that.
Okay.
But Topuria, I've been a fan of since the Ryan Hall victory. Because what Ryan Hall was doing was like he'd Amanari roll. So an Amanari roll is literally like spinning down onto the leg, onto a leg lock, and he would catch a lot of people. I mean, he caught BJ Penn with that. Like BJ Penn,
who was the man for a long time.
Well, BJ Penn, just in a jiu-jitsu sense, was like a world champion after like 4 years or something crazy. Like got his black belt in a stupidly low number of years.
Yeah.
It's like 5 years or something. It's like almost unheard of, or 6 years or something.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's mad that he got that. And he submitted BJPN with that Amanari roll, caught him, right? I'm not a big, I mean, jiu-jitsu wise, Ryan Hall is great and everything, but when I saw the way that Topuria just was like, yeah, Amanari roll, nope, just kind of swatted him away. And then also, was it Bryce Mitchell? Dude, Topuria is a savage, absolute savage. Jiu-jitsu black belt, crazy striking.
Yeah,
he's just a bad dude.
Yeah,
like even when you hear him on interviews and you look at the way he carries himself, he's just a bad dude and should have, in my opinion, been up at a title shot already.
Yeah,
but I think the winner of this it hasn't been announced as a title eliminator yet, but this for sure has to be a title eliminator. Unless the Volkanovski Rodriguez fight is close and they run it back, this has to be a title eliminator. And I'm going Topuria. I think he's got too many ways to win.
If it was Topuria versus Max, who would you say wins?
I back Topuria.
Hectic.
I think Topuria, I don't think people sleep on Topuria, but I think Topuria is...
He can get it done.
He can get it done. I think Topuria is the closest thing. I mean, yeah, Rodriguez and Topuria would be very close. And that I would say goes either way. Like I wouldn't be so confident just to back Topuria, but I think Topuria maybe has the best chance to beat Volkanovski. And yeah, Rodriguez maybe. Okay, it's close between the two.
Yeah.
But I think if you take those three are the top. Like any combination of those three fight for the title, and everybody else is just kind of like it's almost like Rob Whittaker was with Izzy middleweight. It's just like those two and everybody else before Dricus.
Yeah. To me, it reminds me a lot of the Khamzat fight with what was it? Gilbert Burns. Like where you have someone that's like pretty good all rounder, and like I think similar stylistically in terms of Gilbert Burns is similar to Josh Emmett, and then Khamzat and Topuria. I think Topuria has more of a skill set than Khamzat. I think Khamzat does more just swarming, but I think that's also kind of like how this can play out in terms of it'll be a war. I think that those two are going to fight for a long time. Like they're going to make it is a 5-round fight.
It's main event. Yes, main event.
So it's good. I think that it probably goes down to decision, and I think that like it'll. I don't know. I see like
Emmett.
Yeah, no, actually. Oh, no,
you're changing again.
No, I'm gonna stick with Emmett, even though I think that I'm 70% sure that Topuria is gonna win, but like just I'm gonna like what's the word? I see the most value if I were betting in Emmett because he's the underdog.
I actually wanted to check the betting odds now while we talk. So let me have a look. Yeah, please continue. I'm still gonna get the betting odds here.
I see like the value in Josh winning over Topuria winning because I think that the underdog stat is quite high, if I'm not mistaken. But if I think that's a worthwhile bet to make.
So we just got the betting odds here. Not exactly sure where this is, but we've actually got Josh Emmett as the favorite.
Okay.
On this one, they've got -340 odds and Topuria as the underdog at +250.
Okay, that is interesting. I thought that Topuria would have been the strong favorite. Yeah.
So let's have a look and just go a little bit in depth more and just see what they say.
That does then change my view. I'm gonna stick with Josh Emmett.
Well, look, I mean, Topuria is the 9th ranked. They say is the 9th ranked featherweight contender, and Josh Emmett is the 5th ranked.
Yeah.
So it would make sense from that standpoint. I would have just thought that Topuria was the favorite as well.
Just because of the fights he's had.
Shows you what we know, eh?
Yeah. But I suppose that Josh has beaten Dan Ige and Keita. Yeah, I'm still gonna go Josh Emmett.
Yeah, here it is. Josh Emmett favorite and Topuria underdog. Good bet if you wanna try. I would say go. I mean, it's worth the bet.
Yeah,
going for Topuria, but
yeah, Then I take
I'm not a professional, so don't. That's my advice. It's not professional advice.
Yes,
but yeah,
I do the flip then in terms of the values then on Topuria if you are making a bet. I would say.
Yeah, definitely. But I do think. Well, I mean, now that Topuria and Emmett, I think the winner of this one probably fights for title. Unless I mean, it all depends on what happens with Volkanovski and Yaya.
Mm.
You know, if Volkanovski goes up or not.
Yeah.
Because Max Holloway is always there. He's always there.
And same with the 135 bantamweight, Aljamain, because he is like he's going to come up. So like
he needs to beat O'Malley first, though.
Yeah,
probably will though. But you're right.
The division's getting like exciting.
Yeah, it'll be very, very interesting. Aljo. We said don't do it against Volkanovski, but don't do it against Topuria.
Yeah.
Don't do it against Emmett.
Don't do it against you. Yeah.
Don't do it against Max Holloway. Don't do it against anybody. Just stay where you are. Stay where you are.
Or go to lightweight. You know, like just do it.
Yeah. He's Nurmagomedov, bro.
Yeah. No.
Even Sarukian.
Yeah.
Just stay where you are. Go box something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're fans of Aljamain Sterling, but like, gotta be realistic.
Yeah,
I feel. He shocked us before. Maybe he shocked us again.
I've literally never given him the benefit of the doubt, and he's always proved me wrong.
Yeah, I've never given him a chance.
Yeah,
I never thought he was going to beat Cejudo.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was going to beat Piorian.
Yeah,
either times. He did.
Yeah, he did.
You know, now we think he might beat O'Malley, but maybe we should get the jinx on him, the opposite curse. I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, man, that wraps up our preview of UFC on ESPN Plus, UFC ABC, ESPN Plus, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Jacksonville. Let us know your thoughts. Who do you think is going to win in the fights? Do we not know what we're talking about? Or what do you think? And yeah, let's see what happens in the next episode. Who gets how many right and how many wrong.
We might have a bolt.
Yeah, hey. Yeah. I can bring the belt. I mean, if I got 2 belts if you want to, if you want. So yeah, we get the double championships, So let's okay. Well, let's do it. Next week we do. We can have it sitting here and the winner can take it home.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds good to me. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And please give us some feedback and let us know what you'd like to see in the upcoming episodes. If you'd like to see a top 5 next week. And we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys.